We grow up our whole lives trying to avoid losing because losing sucks, and that's what we're told. You don't want to be a loser, you want to be a winner. Yet we all will experience losses at some point, whether personally, financially, in all aspects of our life. We'll see and experience the pain, the suffering of a loss. But it would be cool if we could walk through life riding the high of wins and wins and wins, just like sitting on a beach watching endless waves rolling in, win after win after win, nice and light in the background, and you're just sitting there thinking about how amazing life is. But what if I told you that life could be exactly that if you just simply changed your perspective? I've been reading a book recently called Transurfing. This is the beast of all beasts. There's a different version that's like steps 1 to 70 something. This is the small. I've read it multiple times now. I keep coming back to it. It's almost like, I think, the Bible to the way that I want to live. After reading it the first time, I'm like, holy shit, I need to read that again. And now going back a second time, I'm probably going to keep reading it every year, at least once a year, just to kind of reiterate a lot of the concepts in here, to make sure that I'm applying them in my own life and just seeing how concepts in the book applied in my own life change things or influence the way that I see things. But to talk more to the point that I'm trying to get at, in changing your perspective, we see a lot of things and we're taught throughout our lives about things being good and things being bad. But a lot of what it comes down to is simply how we see things. If I see, getting a cut because I fell off my bike as a negative, which most would say that's a negative, right? I'm going to see that as a negative, right? If I look at it and go, oh man, this hurts, this sucks, I fell, it's a negative. But one of the ideas in the book is that something like that may happen. But if you fall into the trap of going down the negative lifeline, so to speak, you're going to breed more negativity. Whereas if you can try to take away the positive of each of those situations that may originally hit you as a negative, you will more likely align yourself with positive lifelines and more positive outcomes going forward. So you might fall, scrape your arm or scrape your leg off the bike, but it could have been worse. At least my arm protected me from hitting my head and getting a concussion or smashing my head in. You can think about it in many different ways. This will heal up, it's not a problem. I can get back on my bike and I can keep riding. But how does this make sense and relate to trading? Because isn't winning and losing, isn't that impossible to avoid? Don't you have to take wins and have to take losses and see them as wins and see them as losses in order to continue to trade a strategy or improve? If you agree with that sentence, that trading is about wins and losses, you already get it, and I'm going to explain. But first, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Iron Beam.
Welcome to Iron Beam, the future of futures trading. With our cutting-edge chart trading feature and 300+ indicators, you can now trade directly off the chart anytime, anywhere. Delivering seamless trading across all platforms, the Iron Beam journey is supported by 24-hour trader support, low day trade margins, and no account minimums. Iron Beam brings the future into the present. Join now and augment your trading experience.
Okay, so you agree that trading is a game of wins and losses, correct? I'll even go as far as to say that you cannot eliminate the reality of trading losing you money at some point during your career, correct? And this is no matter how good, successful, how long you've been doing it. I don't know what people are teaching these days in terms of the trading world and community. I kind of just stay in my own lane, do my own thing, trade my own way, and then if I have something to share, I will share it because I think it will actually help. It's either a mindset shift that I have had or something that I think could be useful. But I hope you understand that improving as a trader does not mean that you're never going to lose, or that it doesn't mean that you're ever going to reach a point where you will never lose again, because you cannot control the markets, and I'm fairly certain you understand that, but I just want to make sure. What this all implies is that if we were to be successful trading, we need to get used to losing on a somewhat consistent basis. It doesn't mean that we are losing necessarily every day, every trade. I mean, we might go through periods of time where it feels like that, but we will lose on a somewhat consistent basis, meaning that I accept the losses. They are coming. I do not know when they are coming, but they are coming. Ideally, you build your strategy out and over time you critique it so that you have more wins and losses and that you have a profitable strategy that you can roll out and continue to trade over the long term. But what if we just simply reframed what trading actually is in our minds? What if we called losses trading and we called wins trading? As long as we respected our strategies, operate in some consistent manner, and had some sort of plan in place, this is what trading is. A win, a loss, it's just a trade. And we can sum that up as trading. You see, what this allows us to do is it allows us to focus on the process of trading and not necessarily the end result of a winning trade or a losing trade, or making $500 or losing $500 or making $1 million at the end of the year or losing $100,000 of your own money. It allows us to focus on the process. And the reason why that's important is because if you focus on the actual process of trading and you get good at trading, the outcome will follow suit. The important thing is the process, because the process is what you have to deal with every single day, week, or month, however often you trade. You're dealing with the process and the outcome follows. The outcome is legitimately a product of the process and what you put in. And if we put too much emphasis on the outcomes, a given trade, a win, or a loss, we have a winning trade and we're riding high after a winning trade, we put too much importance and significance. Bringing back to anyone who's read this book, you would know that importance is not necessarily the best thing in the world, right? We don't want to attach too much importance to anything because it causes almost an energetic imbalance that takes our focus away from the process, and ultimately we don't get the outcome because of that. So if we learn to lose just like we've learned to win throughout our lives and accept that as the process of trading, there will not be more significance tied to this trade or that trade, or this week or this week. We will simply trade and we will improve our process over time, and in turn we will get the desired outcome if we are intentional with where we're putting our efforts on the process. I hope that made some sense and was a good way of thinking. I'll leave the link to the sponsor, any resources down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.